way.
So we should be live now. I want to greet everyone who is watching us right now. Karen here and John as well. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this AWS study session.
Hello.
Yeah. John, we see as you are logging into the Quick Labs, probably you're going to search for appropriate course for us for today.
Yeah, so I was hoping to do, like I said, to do this one. Waiting, dismiss, and they're offline. I sent a chat message before all that stuff crashed about it, and they're still offline.
So that's interesting. Almost all of the labs are offline now, except the first one.
Yeah, the simple ones. And like over here, this is, like I said, I don't see anything here. It's just videos. Learn. As far as practice, it's practice as in taking sample quizzes. So this must have been the thing that she mentioned to me in the email. So that ain't going to work. All right. So in regards to this, I had found an AWS lab that was open. I think it was under this.
By the way, do we want to run a quiz in the beginning, or do we want to have it at all?
You can go ahead and run a quiz, but the thing is, I was dorking with the other stuff, so I didn't have time to look at the. Literally, when I went to make the quiz, I was going to do stuff on Alexa. Alexa was down, yada, yada, yada. So let me admit somebody that just joined. Admit. Hello, Jean Daniel. How you doing?
Amazing. Thank you. How about you? How was your weekend, guys?
It's very good. I cut a bunch of limbs down yesterday, and then my son helped me. He used an axe to chop them up. They were limbs from the tree. He used one of those on a pole. My neighbor gave me a saw on a pole to cut them down. And then I blew the leaves. I got to, in the backyard, I got to do the front yard today. We're trying to find a lab here, Gene, that we can do. Are you in RTP, by the way?
You asked me that question last time, and
sorry.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure what to say because I just registered, and I'm okay, to be a volunteer as well, to contribute to this group. I'm okay with that, but I'm not sure what do you mean by RTP?
Research Triangle Park. Are you in North Carolina? In the RTP is like Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill. It's 3 cities. You've heard of Duke University, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and North Carolina State University. Those 3 cities have 3 universities, and there's a big economic zone in the center, which they call Research Triangle Park. It's IBM had the IBM North American site. The biggest site in North America is in Research Triangle Park. It's like 5 minutes from here. Laverne is in RTP. I didn't know if you were in RTP or not.
No, I'm from New Jersey though. But the thing is, I'm really passionate about technology, right? Anything related to data management, automation, and integration, I love to be part of it. So that's the reason why I joined this group.
Well, good. I'm welcome. You're welcome here, and I'm glad you're here. I also have a big interest in it. and I'm sorry I forgot if I asked you last time. I got like so many things going on, and I'm old and dumb, and I just don't remember. So bear with me.
No, but the thing is, there were so many questions. While you asked me that question, you didn't have time to explain to me exactly what does that mean. So I don't think it was your fault.
All right. Well, very good. Very good. All right. Well, like I said, we can do a quiz. We can do the quiz first off. We'll wait until the schedule kind of to do it. But I was just really kind of trying to. We're here. I was trying to figure out, like I said, getting the streaming, finding out what we can do on AWS, and yada yada yada. So I'm kind of all behind the times here. But I want to share this tab. Last week we talked about doing the Alexa because Andrew said he had actually never done any Alexa, and it kind of builds upon the Lex stuff. But here also, I think there was one Lex lab, now that I'm thinking about it. Let's dismiss this. Some of these I've done already, and I think we did them as a group, but this is DynamoDB, Lambda. This is flavors. We definitely have done this one. I've already done this one. I did this with the people previously. Yeah, let's look on AWS again. You mentioned you're a fan of big data. All right. Well, let's look at a big data.
Right.
Amazon Redshift. Do you know anything about Amazon Redshift?
Yes, I actually I have done a lot of work on it.
Okay. Would you be interested in doing a Redshift lab?
Yes, I'm fine with that as well.
All right, very good. We can do a Redshift lab. Let's just look through here, see something. We're doing this on the fly. Let's look and see if there's anything that we can run a question with. This is all like SQL stuff, joining tables. Performance. Just looking, bear with me. This is like all right, well, whatever. We'll do this. We'll do this one. I just want to make a quiz question on it. I already did this. We'll go ahead and start this up here. I'm not going to start it. We'll just go through and edit it, and then we'll do it. You can see the answers.
John, can you share, please, the link to this specific lab?
Yeah.
Or you want to start with a quiz?
We're going to start with a quiz. Yep. We're going to. I'm going to show you some edits on the quiz. I'm doing this in real time. Sorry.
Okay. Cool.
So this will be AWS Quiz 6. We've got some Lambda questions. So one of the things that I've been trying to do with GCP is only have questions that are actual commands so that you learn the commands. And sadly, with AWS, you see there's a lot of this stuff that's just like, what is something? It's not a command. Now, this is a command. That's good. So let's add a question about Redshift real quick so that we get something on Redshift. Redshift, AWS. Someone's calling me. You can just look at the docs a little bit quick. How do I stop this? Okay, good. It stopped. So I think Redshift is kind of like BigQuery. So we'll make a question relative to that.
Redshift is more related to MPP data warehouse.
Yeah. You'd say that's accurate?
I'm sorry?
Would you say, so I'm sharing a screen, and you're seeing me add a question. So they're talking about it's a data warehouse, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
Let's see if there's any features here. All right, we'll do that. We'll add one question here. So we have one new question, and just to look through, these are all. And we'll add that. All right, so we'll go ahead and run this quiz real quick. Actually, I need to invite to quiz. Copy. Here you go, Karen. This is the link.
Cool. I have a short announcement to everyone who is watching it on the stream. We will be doing this lab today, and it actually requires, the lab requires 10 credit points on Quick Labs. So if you don't have any available credit in your account, on your Quick Labs account, make sure to post your email address which you use to register your Quick Labs account. And I will grant you some chunk of credits which you can use for this lab today, and this pot of credits will be deleted afterwards, so you can make use of it like within this session. So make sure to post your email address which you actually use to register an account on Quick Labs. If you don't have an account on Quick Labs, it's free. You can create a free account there and then share with me your email to get your credit.
This thing is not, let me try this again. Invite to the quiz, copy, Control V, launch waiting screen. Interesting, I'm in, but it doesn't say that I'm in. And is this the same link? Yes. Okay. Looks like we just have one person in. Are you in, Karen?
Oh no, I actually have to share this link with everyone.
Okay.
Sorry, I just completely missed this part.
Mm-hmm. No worries.
Moment, I'm sharing it right now. Everyone who is watching it on the stream, we have 21 people right now watching us. You just received in the chat box a a link. Go to this My Quiz link and take part in this quiz, which we are going to run right now. You don't need to register any account for this. It's just you can just put your name, nickname, whatever, and you are ready to go. How many people do we have in the quiz right now, John?
It shows 5.
I'm joining right now. 7, 8. Oh, it grows now.
Yeah, I tried also to set up OBS on another laptop, and I was surprised. You have to have an OpenGL card to do it, so I had to go to yet another laptop. But I did get it working, and I got the audio reverb problem solved by muting the sound on the desktop that was connected, where I was using as a capture. But I haven't had time to review it to see if it actually worked. So at least when I was sitting in, when I had the 2 laptops connected and I was talking, that the audio wasn't being garbled and getting feedback.
Yeah, but it's a good idea to dedicate a separate computer just for OBS for the streaming.
Yeah.
This is how I do it, actually.
Yeah, I got the idea from you, because the first time that I did it last week, I was doing it on the same computer, and I was just lucky that computer had OpenGL in it. So, but I got another one that has OpenGL enabled. All right, we got 13 users. Do you want to go ahead and start it up?
Yeah, I think we can start.
All right, let's start it up. This is just a quick quiz. There's one Redshift question in here. You saw me add it, and we'll do the Redshift lab. I'm still trying to figure out what we can do outside of quick labs, so bear with me. There's no winners or losers of this, but it's just every week, if you get it down to where we've got questions that are actual command line, you'll learn the AWS command line by doing the quizzes and doing the labs.
Says the person who wins every single time, right?
Dude, I got a gal Laverne does real well in GCP, and I got another gal, Diva, that she rocks it in these quizzes. And she's hard. She won 2 weeks in a row now. But like I said, there's no winners or losers. It's just to practice making sure you remember what everything is. So this is interesting. DynamoDB is a NoSQL, and then the Redshift that we're going to do the lab on is a SQL, which I think is like BigQuery. I think it's like Google's BigQuery. It does support all those languages except R. So that was the one made that answer wrong. On this one, the AWS is different from Google. They tend to put verb subject, and they use a dash to join commands. So I believe this is describe instances. It is, yes. Instances are plural. Describe instances singular. So that's how you get the right answer there. Oh, this is close. So in this case, what made this the right answer is it doesn't have the dash dash topic ARN equals. That's Google syntax. I believe that's the same thing here. You need to, they have the dash dash option, but you don't have the equals. And I think it's receive message instead of read. We'll find out here. Yeah. I'm trying to get more questions like this and less questions like that. I wonder, Karen, if we could get AWS credits from that swag store that I could, instead of giving them away, I could actually use them to generate labs for myself that we could do, you know?
I guess we can definitely get some credit for whatever reason we need it, you know. It's up to us how to distribute it or how to use it. So it shouldn't be a problem in general. But despite I'm not sure like how you're going to use it if it was a labs, but I'm pretty sure you have an idea how to do this.
Basically, you know, use some credits to follow some tutorial and do that tutorial using those credits. Like, you know, find a web page that says, this is, we're going to set up blah, and then do it on an AWS account and not incur any cost. Rather than, let's start a stream to watch a video of somebody else watching a video. You know, like, I'm not Cutie Pie.
Yeah, we can absolutely try and see how it works.
On other related notes, I told you I got in trouble for appearing shirtless on the video, right, with the Google guys. Well, sorry about that. I did that. That was my mistake. I was working in the yard, yada, yada, yada. But on the upside, for the group photo, I won the group that I'm in, the Southern region, won socks. So I got a Google socks. Woo.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah. 4 hours a week, 8 hours counting the meetings I have to attend for them, maybe 9 hours on average if you throw in the regional meeting, and I get some socks per year. I think this is true. So we did some Lambda and some CloudWatch labs previously. This is where these questions came from. Well, I pared down the GCP questions, which were like 45. It went down to 40. And we've got a whole slew of questions for the GCP at 10 o'clock meeting. But I want to say this is true, but it's like here they were talking about the AWS, that when you look at the Lambdas, they do have a trigger, but I think you can also do it without a trigger if you're using the API gateway. So I wouldn't worry about this one as being, you get this one wrong or right, because I don't really know, but it was definitely somewhat what they were saying in the docs. I need to look into this. I'm keeping this question around to look into it more. So maybe it's saying you don't actually create one. All right, so this is from the AWS bot. I think in this question, it's you don't have edge-to-edge routing. And this is strictly, I can't say that with clarity. I just have got this one memorized from doing it so many times. So I think the question here is, it's stateless, and patch was a new method that I was unfamiliar with. So let's see. Yep, stateless and patch. Once again, you kind of learn by doing on this one. Yeah, and that's the whole purpose of API Gateway, is to handle authentication. So you create the RESTful API, and then you authenticate it with the gateway part. I do believe that's the purpose. Good job, everybody there. We did do a lab on this previously, and this will be today's lab, Redshift. So once again, DynamoDB, NoSQL, Redshift is SQL, kind of like BigQuery. I think you can put a lot of data in there. It's petabytes of storage, but I think it's expensive. But it has tools that you can do analytics. I know, like with Google's BigQuery, you can actually create a machine learning thing using SQL commands in BigQuery, which is kind of interesting. So we'll share this. And I'm going to put this here, and then we'll go ahead and start the lab. All right, and we'll try to blaze through this and get it done in the remaining time. Just before, while we're waiting on this to start up, let me just share this. This is, I always like to look at the official docs on anything that I'm working on, and just to make sure, kind of see how it's working. Looking at the picture.
So again, to everyone, we are done with the quiz now, and congratulations to everyone. Everyone won. And now we are going to the lab. We link to the lab I just posted in the chat. Go there. If you don't have any credit, let me know your email address which you used for Quick Labs registration, and you will get some credit for this lab.
This definitely looks like BigQuery, because Amazon SageMaker is the equivalent to Data Lab notebooks in Google. Google's, you can use as a source a BigQuery to like pull records from. And that's the same kind of thing here. They're reading from this. This says an Amazon S3 data lake, but I don't know. Maybe it's separate. Maybe it's not the same. If this is S3 and not going directly to Redshift. All right, but that's that. And then it looks like you can also put data between, like, I guess federated data, I think it's kind of like sharing tables. You have, or views, you can export a table from this RDS into Redshift. Maybe that's what that is. The lab is open, but I just want to let's look at something here real quick. We've got this. I'm not sharing this tab. Okay. Let's see what they've got. So you actually create clusters within Redshift. Interesting. That's interesting. Let me go back to the API. I saw that. Let's kind of see what we can do. Yeah, you've got cluster control. Interesting. So anything about data sets and tables. So let's see, clusters. Interesting. All right, well, let's do this. Let's look one more time. Share this tab. Redshift. AWS, comparison, BigQuery, Google. There they were saying something about okay, interesting. Simplicity, BigQuery is, yeah. Yeah, BigQuery abstracts away the details of the underlying database and all configurations. So any of that clustering stuff, you're not going to see in Google BigQuery. These guys are saying they prefer, they're preferring this to BigQuery. They prefer Redshift. Interesting. They prefer it even though it's more complex. All right, very good. So we've kind of got a feel for it. The lab is available. And let's open the console. Groovy, it let me log in the first try. So we're going to share this and share this one. And then what is this? I can get rid of that. Keep this. Okay. All right, so we're going to look at USA domestic flight data. We're going to use SQL client software. So I bet you we're going to set up something with like a Windows box or maybe not. We'll see. I've done this one before. I can't remember what it was about. All right, this is boilerplate logging in. Okay. If you see a try new UI, click it. Okay, so we're going to go to share this. In AWS, click on the services. Click Amazon Redshift. Is it going to be in database? Nope. It's in analytics. So if it's in analytics, yeah, they're definitely thinking it's like BigQuery. Okay. All right. Go here. Click. Get started. If you see a click get started at the top, you just try the UI, blah, blah, blah. Look for clusters. Then click clusters. All right, we're going to create a cluster. Cluster identifier is lab. Node type. Oh, great. This one doesn't match. Okay, so let's see what we're doing here. Create node type DC2. DC2 large. So we're going to use this. 2 nodes. I guess the 2 meaning 2 nodes right there. Yeah. Scroll down to database configuration section. All right. I'm going to give it a name of lab. Master username is master. Master user password. Should be Redshift 123 with a capital R. Redshift 123, yep. That's good. Available roles. Expand. Click add Redshift role. Okay. Click the slider to not use defaults. Okay. We're going to use the lab VPC. So they've set up a VPC for us. They've also set up a security group. And we're going to remove this one. I'm going to set this up. Okay. That's enabled. Gotcha. So that's there, and we took the other one out. Remove default. And with that, we're going to create the cluster. Click the lab. Click the properties. They're saying in the help it can take like 5 minutes to set up. All right. And then it's saying while you're waiting, please continue reading the next section. Okay. wonder, just out of curiosity, what's behind the scenes on Redshift? Is it Hadoop? Redshift is based on what? It's based on Postgre. Interesting. While we're waiting for this, let's just look at this for a second. So, in other words, what this seems to be is, rather than you going up and setting up a bunch of compute instances, or they call it EC2 instances in AWS, and setting up Postgre on them, you've kind of, Amazon's got like a wrapper around that to set it up for you. Someone asked me in the GCP meeting about microservices. Maybe this is kind of an example of a managed database microservice. Maybe, I don't know if that's true or not. Any comments in the stream regarding that? Or Gene, you've worked with Redshift. Would you call Redshift a managed Postgre microservice?
Yes, it is a managed instance of Postgres based on MPP architecture. That's the reason why it's quite kind of the same like DynamoDB, but however, it is relational, where DynamoDB is a dynamic schema. If you go back to the website that you will see there is a distribution key you still have to add, which is required, not really required because there's a default, but once you create the table, you may need to think of the partition key as well. And then you will have to think of the access pattern before you even think of creating any table, because if the data is not evenly distributed, you may end up to have hard partition.
All right, very good. What is DynamoDB a wrapper around? So if Redshift is a wrapper, around Postgre, what is DynamoDB a wrapper around?
DynamoDB is based on a key value pair.
Yeah.
So this is something kind of similar to MongoDB, if you will.
So it's like Mongo, okay, or Mango, or whatever. Okay.
No, kind of similar. They do have a document DB, which is a kind of exact copy of MongoDB, but however, DynamoDB it's more like a key value pair.
Okay. Yeah. It's a NoSQL.
Right.
See if they say anything here. All right, that's interesting. So it's kind of like it's its own thing. It's not a wrapper around anything.
Yeah.
No, it is cloud-based. Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries. Go on.
It is a cloud based off Amazon, right? But if you look at is more like data warehouse, DynamoDB is more like OLTP.
Yeah. Okay.
NoSQL.
Yeah, so I thought it might be a wrapper on Mongo, but I don't see anything in here saying it's a wrapper on it.
No, it's not a wrapper of MongoDB, because MongoDB what kind of relational, even though it is a NoSQL, because you can go by, you can join, you can do everything. But in DynamoDB, there's no such that, unless if you design your schema when it comes to GSI. Which is global secondary, right? So there's where you can bypass that global secondary index. But DynamoDB is a 100% AWS version.
Yeah. All right.
Cloud-based NoSQL.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, some of our users are also writing in the chat of the stream that Dynamo is a proprietary kind of solution, and it's of course it's fully managed by Amazon. So basically, you don't have to take care of scaling and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I would hesitate to call it a microservice.
Okay.
By definition, it's a managed service. It's
All right.
As well as Redshift, but not really a microservice, I would say. Microservice is actually what you most of the times create in your either virtual machines or containers, and you can scale it up. But what is behind it, we don't really know, because it's proprietary and it's managed, but you can use it, you know.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Managed service versus microservice. That's a good point that I was wrong about there.
I would say it's managed versus unmanaged, or like managed by you, you know.
Yep. Yep.
Managed, it means managed by the provider, so it's not your headache to make it work. You're just feeding the data into it, and that's it. When we speak about microservices, it's mostly what your developer team develops, actually. So you run it. It's managed by you in most of the cases, and you can scale out, scale in this kind of microservices.
All right, very good. What it's saying here, just reading along, he's talking about that you're going to have a company database that you're going to copy into Redshift. In this example, they talk about they're going to take this data source, put it in S3, and then from S3, they're going to use a copy command. And literally, that's one of the copy commands there. By the way, you see how this thing, you can't select the text. If you ever want to select the text on these things, no select. Let's do it like over here. Hold on a second. Control F. I think now, yeah. So there you can see the copy command. Okay. All right, so the transport data is already, so this part from here has already happened. They've got it in S3 bucket. All right, and we're gonna use, so we're not gonna have to set up a client. We're gonna use this web-based thing. Okay, good. All right, let's copy this. Control V. There is the PG web. I wonder where that is hosted from. Anyway, all right, open a new tab, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it's 5439. 5439. Okay, hold on a second. Username, configure the following. Username is master. Red, SHIFT 123 5439, I think is what he said. 5439. This is interesting. Copy the PG web IP address shown to the left. Configure the following. Let's see if this connects. We're not specifying the host, which is interesting. Yeah, because this is going to go to localhost. So we need this host address, right? Let's look back over here. And he's saying, he's not telling us what the IP address is. So let's see if the IP address is over here. Five, 439. Oh, anybody see what we would pick for the IP address of this guy? So the problem is on this page, we need a host here. And then let's close these. And then in the instructions, this IP address is the PG web connection. And he's not telling us that. We'll try this one, that IP address. That's the IP address up here. We'll try it and see if that works. I kind of doubt it. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Maybe it's working. Oh, we need to also put in lab here, LAB. Please wait. Let's refresh this.
There's a message from one user in the chat. Use endpoint on the top, not IP. Host equal endpoint.
Okay, we'll try that. We'll try that in a second. Just 1 second.
Go to DynamoDB interface for properties, right? So you can get the endpoint if that don't work.
Okay, all right, let's try. We left off lab last time, but while that's looking, I'll go over here. So you said DynamoDB. I think you mean Red.
No, Redshift. Sorry about that.
And this address here, this endpoint here.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Let's see what he comes back with. Oh, is he going to work? We'll do another one. Okay, so we'll copy this. We'll do another connection. We'll keep this up. Control V. All right, let's copy this. And this is master red shift 1, 2, 3 lab 5439.
Can you also remove anything after that? The colon, you see .com. Remove anything after.
So take
Yes.
this.
Yep. Perfect.
Very good. Very good. Yep. All right. Yep. That works. This does not. Okay. So get rid of that. Sweet. All right. Let's pull this tab over here. All right. Oh, there you go. The host value can be obtained from the Redshift, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Exactly. You guys got it. Copy the endpoint. Remove the lab. There you go, Gene. It's right what you're saying. Click connect. All right. So we got that. There we go. Load the data. Copy and paste the following text into PG Web. All right. So we're going to just put a query up here and run it. Let's see. What does this query say? this is creating a table, and sure enough, we see a table now. All right, sweet. Paste the following. Okay, go back to SQL query. Get rid of this, post this. And that's that copy command that they were showing. All right, so he's saying before you do this, we're going to have to modify this section for the Redshift role. All right, so we need to go over to here. And let's look at our Redshift role, which is there. Which actually, interesting, they've got it here. So we'll copy that, but let's look and see if we can actually see it. There, we can get it there as well. So we'll do both. We'll see what it is. So going back over here. So the Redshift role from the lab is this. Coming here and clicking copy. Go back over here. This role that they've got is that. And that looks like the same thing. Very good. All right. Got that part. Painting by numbers. Have you ever listened to that song, I'm Painting by Numbers? This is exactly what I'm doing. All right, then go ahead and say run query. And he is going to copy flights. This is the input. I guess they're saying it's a comma separated, but it's gzipped. Remove quotes. And look over here. That's kind of what they're saying. From is where the data is located. Gzip, delimiter, yada yada. We've got about 6 gigabytes of data. When you create a table, you can specify the distribution key. So in our create table is where we did a distribution key. Yep, right there it shows up. Yep, carrier. Yep, carrier. Okay, very good. All right, let's go back over here. Let's query. There we go. Run this query to view 10 flights. So it's going to get 10 ordered by random. Reads the whole row. All right. All right. So he's getting the departures. He's then grouping and ordering by, limiting 10. Okay. Very good. The question is, who are the top 3 by number of departures? well, it's right here is the top 3. Change departures to passengers. Okay, so look at number of passengers. So Delta has the most passengers. Change departures to miles. Who flies the furthest? Which airline does the most miles? United. Okay. If we put in, we can put in. So we're going to get the product of passengers and miles. It's American. Change departures to freight pounds. So we're going to do this. Who carries the most freight? Freight pounds. FedEx. Okay, that makes sense. Delta has a lot of freight. Interesting. Okay. So we're going to create a new table. This is more SQL commands at this point rather than BigQuery. Okay, oh, that created the table. Okay, sorry. So they want us to, the next, after we've created the table, we're going to put this here. We have to put our Redshift role in there again. I guess by having this IAM role in here, it enables us to authenticate with the Redshift database. Every time I do that,
Right. You can either use access and secret key or AIM. Right.
Yeah. All right. So replace, insert your Redshift role, run the query. So we're not getting this to work. So let's look at flights. Copy. Okay, so that copied it. Okay. Okay, so pardon me. All right. That was the copy. So it's saying that when you run so when you're running this, you're doing the copy, but it's not showing us anything in it. If we look at aircraft, do we see like how many there are? There's 11. Okay. So there's like almost 1,200 rows. Over here, oh, I'm showing the wrong thing. So about 1,200 rows. And then this is over here, he's saying 383. So maybe he's like dividing this up somehow. Well, let's try this part here. SQL query. Control V. Run query. All right, sweet. All right, run this query to see the most flown type of aircraft. Boeing 737. Okay, great. All right, what is he going to do here? You can use the explain command to view how Amazon processes the query. Use the run query, not the explain query. he's talking about we're going to use explain, but don't click explain. Okay, because he's got that in there. I wonder if we take this out and then hit explain query. So the last thing we see is there's a scan 1149 with 32. Let's see what happens if we hit explain query. Explain, analyze. Do you see explain, analyze? It's not. Okay, so let me put it back for a second. I'm just experimenting here. So that's the thing that they're saying to do. I would think that if you take out this, take out that for a second. That's running. Great. What happens if you do explain? I don't know what explain query does. I thought it would do the same kind of thing, but yada, yada, yada. Oh,
it is explained to you the query plan, give you some insight, the cost, the estimated, the operator, right? This is right, most likely related to performance tuning.
Yep. So, okay, so this is, I guess what they're saying is how the cluster is putting this together to get the results. That's what they're trying to say.
Right, this is the estimated cost. For example, if your query is not well tuned, you may end up to pay a lot of money. So in order for you to understand the bottleneck within your script, you use explain. As you can see, there's a short key. If you look at, there is a hash aggregate. Each, yes. So for example, based on that, if you look at the last two, the last, you see, go up one more.
This one?
And the second one, that one in parallel, as you can see, the one and the following one. And then under the hash aggregate, which is hash join, distributed. So that's based on the data, because the distributed is all known. That's a good, these are the elements that will let you understand how costly is your query. Is it a broadcasting, distributed or not, right? This is kind of very advanced, but most likely related to performance tuning.
Yep. Yeah. One of the things I thought, like you can see this, he's got the explain keyword. I thought if you took off that keyword and then you ran, so you could run the query and you could get the results, right? That's the result. So that putting that explain in there, I thought would do the same as if you took the explain out and then explain query there, but that doesn't work. And I think this is just saying turn caching off so that you actually don't get a cached result when you go through the cluster and do it. Taking that out, still that doesn't work. All right, so that's that. Coming over here, this is kind of saying what Gene was saying. Shows the logical steps when running the query. Reading the explain from the bottom up, it displays a breakdown of logical operations, the relative cost, the amount of data. Okay. So just doing it one more time. For running the query. He's saying, look up here. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to scan the aircraft. I don't know what XN is, but you can see he's joining on aircraft. So he's reading this first. I guess that's that. And then he has to read flights. And that's where you're doing your join. And here is the join. And then he's doing his sum up there. Yada, yada, yada. All right, whatever. It's stored in columns. That's groovy. All right, let's do this. See what this does. Query. While that's running, all right. So I guess he's saying right now it's in raw, but then you could compress it in all of these different formats. So let's come back over. Okay, so he's saying that the first column is ZSTD. And come back over here, Z standard. And then we've got an AZ64. I don't even see that in here. All right, whatever. Creating tables from other tables. All right. Let's try this. So we've got an aircraft and a flights, but we don't have an airports table. We're going to create an airports table. And we've got the table. And we're going to come in here and we're going to copy. Once again, we got to get our role here. Control V. All right. Let's look and see if airports has any data. Yeah, airports has got data now. Okay. I'm going to give us another query to run. What is this doing? This is Vegas flights. So we're going to create another table, which is a join of flights and airports. So we should say Vegas flights. We do. Yep. And then here, last query I think he's got is he's looking at what's the most popular. So most people are flying to Las Vegas from Los Angeles and then Phoenix and then Dallas Fort Worth. Okay. All right. This is a query they're giving us to look at disk usage. So we got like 2 gigs, I think, on both of those, and they're about half, so you probably got like 1 gig on each. And I think that gets back to what the guy was saying above. Okay. And then how much space is taken by each of the tables. All right. Which table is the biggest? The amounts are shown in megabytes. The flights consume around 100, about 1.5 gig. Yeah, we got about 1.6. Okay. Yep. All right. And they're saying that you can have 160 gigs on a disk. So for this DC2 large, so we're about 1/10. All right. Explore the Amazon Redshift console. So everything we've done has been via SQL. return to your web browser where we've got this, okay? In the left plane, click clusters, click lab, we're already in lab. Go to query monitoring. Okay. Click the refresh button next to query monitoring, which is here. This is the refresh button. In the queries, click one of the queries. Query list. All right, this is the last thing that we did. If we put this on, it was Vegas that we did last time. Right. Try to figure out how to get this down. Okay, over here, start time. Let's put it reverse at 1:55. This one, this is the last one. This, and it says select name and count. Yeah, so this query here matches what we're seeing here. Select name and count. If you go back, so that's that one. And he's saying that that took 423 milliseconds. Okay, groovy. All right. Queries and loads section, select loads. All right, so let's go back over here. Select loads. Scroll down, so we're in the query and load selections. In the drop-down box, I don't see a drop-down box. Select loads. Let's refresh this again. I don't see a loads box. I see a drop down that has loads. What's he trying to do? So it's anything to have copy. Okay, so what we can do is let's just go back over here and say copy. Maybe that'll work. Yep. Yeah, so these are all the copies, okay? And select one. Okay, so we've selected it. SQL to run it, total runtime. That's this, the duration. How many rows returned? I don't see that. Maybe if we do this, we can see. Don't see the number of rows. Oh, here, okay, there it is. Total data scanned. Okay, very good. All right, they want us to look on the query plan time. Let's go back over here. Query plan time. Query plan time. I guess that's start time. All right, so the lab versus the UI is out of whack here. So let's look at this again. He's saying we didn't have the drop down box for loads, but we're looking for a query plan, anything to do with that. So we go back over here.
Can you do the same thing? It was me over there where you see the number of rows. Can you go click search for copy and then click on any queries?
Yep. Okay, so hold on a second. Clusters. Lab. Query monitoring. Right here, click copy. And we'll click on this one and look for.
You will see query plan next to query details below. Next.
There we go. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. All right. We got a chart here. Good. Yep. All right. That's good. So we can see some like monitoring for it. Okay. Cool. Very good. All right. And then he's like going back. So we did this. Now he says go back to clusters. Go back to clusters. Click lab. Cluster performance. Click cluster performance. After cluster performance, okay, so we're on cluster performance already, okay? And then maintenance and monitoring, okay? And you can say like you can create alarms, okay? He's just saying that. And then he talks about snapshots. This is in the backups tab. So over here. So we were on this. Then we clicked on query monitoring. And then he's saying go to snapshots, but he says backups. And so here's the backup. So we've got one backup that was created. Click the tab. Data can be exported. He's just saying, it's just text saying you can export it. And then he's saying go to delete it, yada, yada, yada. If we go back, the final step is to shut down the cluster. So to delete this, it's probably here. Yep, delete cluster. It's being deleted. All right, sweet. So congratulations, you have now successfully learned how to launch a cluster, connect, load data, query, monitor, yada, yada, yada. We're all experts in Redshift now. Rock and roll, coochie coo. Thank you, Gene, for the assist.
You're welcome.
Laverne, you're quiet today. Are you there? Yeah, that's very good. All right, well, ladies and joins, that's that. It was good. A little bit of Amazon each week. You learned something. I'll try to get with Karen and try to do something more productive next weekend using some of the stuff from Amazon. Otherwise, we could just keep going over these quick labs. At one point in time, we're got to get off of this. But like you can see, I've done this lab. I did it a second time. Still don't know much about it, but you kind of learn about it. We now know a little bit more about Redshift being a wrapper around Postgre, and it's a SQL database. So we've got that under our belts, and it's similar to BigQuery, but it's a little more complicated because you can actually manipulate the cluster. Other than that, I hope you guys have a nice day. I'm going to go work out in the yard real quick, and then I want to relax for the rest of the day.
Sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
So also thank you from me, from my side. It was another great session. Let's see what we will have another one next week, same day, same day of the week, same time.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks a bunch, folks. Good to see you guys again, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much. Great session. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye bye, everyone.